In this video, I'm going to share with you how I went from looking like this to looking like this in a matter of 18 months. Day one of an uphill journey. What started to happen was as I started surrounding myself around people that were a lot more in shape than I was, and me feel like, whoa, I gotta step up my game. Actuality, I've been manifesting this for quite some time, my vision board. So kind of cool that I get to start this journey. I got to put one foot in front of the other on this one. I'm just gonna focus on today and get through each day by day. I'm building strength and still keeping flexibility. Bodies that look like that, and I'm on my way. So I look forward to seeing where the next journey goes, but you know, this is day one, so we'll go from there. So I learned this saying from my mentor a long time ago: success is a decision away. So back in 2019, in November, I was skinny fat. I was 155 pounds and I had no direction on where I was gonna go with my body. And I was not healthy at this time. So I have here my actual affirmations that I used to read back in 2019 when I first started this journey. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am 170 pounds. Moment of truth. Did I reach my goal? All right, full weight achieved. I have full range of motion. And I look as good as I feel. Now, I wrote in this every single day to keep me on track. So there are many components to making this transformation happen, and let's dive in and take a deeper look. So to start off, the first one is a decision. You need to decide what it is you want, you need to carve out your why, and then you need to find someone that has this information to get you there. And so that's where I started off. I started researching how to actually put on size, but healthy size. I really wanted to gain strength, but I also wanted to maintain flexibility. The current state that it's in, I'm currently on day 3, and say bye-bye and say hello to some new muscles. So the first side of this was German volume training. You do 10 sets of a single compound exercise. So you want to perform a fixed number of reps on each set, i.e. 10 sets for 5 reps. Throughout this, you want to increase the weight or the rep. This is one of the keys to putting on size, is you want to increase the rep range or you want to increase the weight that you're going at in order to build that muscle. I've wanted to learn like strength in my end ranges of motion while building like an aesthetically pleasing body, but at the same time putting functionality and health first. So the flexibility component to this. Now, I don't know if you've done this, but for me, I've put on size before, and if you see a lot of guys that are built, like they're stuck in their body, they don't have a range of motion in their shoulders, they feel sore in their hips. But if you look at where I was heading and what I focused on, I also wanted to like increase the strength in my tendons and also increase the range of motion. So what I did is I built in this component where I did 6 weeks of strength training and 4 weeks of flexibility, just focused on increasing the end range motion and the strength of my end ranges while also not losing any part of my body. The next one is nutrition. Now, I know that this is a hot topic and I'm not qualified to give advice on this, but what I'm gonna do is just share my experience. Here we go, week 1 on the trying to get all the protein in. And I'm like eating like this is, I'm at the gym right now. Like this is how intense it is for me right now. I gotta figure out what the route is here to getting through all this, because this is so intense. I gotta stay focused. Like I can't even like talk to Maul while I'm eating basically, because I have to stay that focused to get it in me. So we'll see where this goes, but I wanted to grab this moment because like I'm getting challenged big time. So I was raised eating meat, and I ate meat up until the age of 22. And then from there on, I ate vegetarian for 8 years. Then from there, I transitioned to becoming a vegan for a year. But what happened this time last year is I got sick. I became very ill. And in my intuition, I kid you not, I had dreams of steaks. And I just listened to my body. And so for like the last 10 or something months, I've been eating meat. And for me personally, it's really challenging now that I've seen the whole spectrum. It's really challenging to get the nutrients that meat gave my body. So the next component of this nutrition game is understanding where my calories were at. So this is something I never tracked before, but if I'm wanting to gain weight, I gotta know my goal weight and what my body needs to get to that weight. So a simple equation that you can do, you take your current weight and you times it by 15 calories. Now 15 calories keeps you at a maintenance level, but if we want to gain weight, we want to be at a surplus. And so this is what I started to do. So on my lift days, what I did is I added on an extra 500 calories, because what I found at the beginning was I was eating all my calories, but I was also putting on fat. And so what I started to do is I wanted to keep on my rest days my body in a fasted state so that I could still gain muscle, but I didn't gain fat. And so take the weight that you're at and then times it by 15, and then on the lift days, add an extra 500 calories, and ideally you want to be at a surplus around 1,500 to 2,000 calories at the end of your week. Another component to all this is understanding your macros, your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats. So the big one I really focused on was the protein. So what you do is you times your goal weight. So for example, my goal weight was 170. I times that by 1 gram of protein. So then at the end of the day, of my total calories, I want to be eating 170 grams of protein a day. So the change I made when I understood this was I was actually getting too much fats. And so the fat stored right on my belly, and it was hard for me to burn that fat. So what I did is I created these percentages inside my macros, doing 40% protein, 25% fat, and 35% carbohydrates. So obviously there's a lot of different diets out there. You've got keto, you've got paleo, you've got carnivore, any of these diets that are out there. And so you really want to test for yourself. Find out what works for your body, find out what works for your morals, and just do what feels good for you. This is where the body's at right now. But within this week, I've already noticed in a diet change, like my body changing, but there's definitely results coming in, I can feel it. Back to the gym tomorrow. So the next component is sleep. Well, I never really considered sleep to be a priority in building muscle, but when I met Devin Kelly, I asked him, all right, man, what exercises should I be doing? How should I be building my body? And the first question he asked me is, how's your sleep? And I was like, what does this have to do with building muscle? He's like, well, to be honest, if you're not resting correctly, you're not going to go to the goals and get to the goals you want to get to. And so I started analyzing my sleep. Now, at the time, I was probably sleeping around between 6 to 7 hours and not really prioritizing sleep and seeing sleep as a weakness. But after talking to him and looking deeper into the importance of sleep, I now sleep between like 8 to 9 hours, especially on lift days. And the last component is consistency. I can't stress this enough, how important this was to getting to my goal. You know, there's times where I didn't want to get into the gym. There's definitely times where I wanted to eat certain meals that I started to cut out. But I really stayed focused on what I was heading towards. And I started feeling into the body that I wanted. And that was more important to me than eating that granola bowl or that smoothie bowl or skipping a workout. And so in order to really get to the place that you want when anything is being consistent. All right, so that's it. That's how I got to the body of where I am today. And just to recap, I started off by making a decision. From there, I got a training program and I got a coach. And then from there, I looked into nutrition. I understood my macros. I understood how much food I need to be taking in a day to get the gains that I wanted. I prioritized sleep. Sleep is a must in order to rest the body. And finally, I was consistent, getting in that gym on days that I didn't really feel like it and just doing the work. Now, I must say I am definitely happy and grateful. My affirmation has become a reality and I feel great in my body. And the biggest thing is how you feel. How you look is a byproduct in my mind, but how I feel is really important. So when I walk, when I sit, when I work, whenever I do something now, I actually feel good doing the action. I got no tweaks in the shoulder. I got no tweaks in the knees, my hips got full range of motion, and I feel great. And I'm excited to see where the next goals go. So with that, hopefully you've been inspired to want to start your fitness journey. So drop a comment below if you've got any questions. I will also put in the description a little bit more of how I did it and how you can calculate your numbers for yourself. And remember, I went from looking like this to looking like this in a matter of 18 months. So you can do it too. Good luck and happy building.